Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about the CRF450L that I picked up. I have been trying to figure out for quite a little while now what bike I wanted to continue to do BDRs on. It's not the Africa Twin. The Twin is going to stay my touring bike, but it's not going to be the hardcore BDR or big off-road bike that I thought it was going to be. It's too heavy for where I'm at in life. It's not something I want to have to deal with anymore. I'm tired of getting hurt, pushing myself too far. So I wanted to go with a lighter bike. And I had considered like a DR650, an XR650. I had definitely considered the 450L, and that's the one that I landed on. This particular bike is set up better than I could have hoped for. It's got a lot of aftermarket stuff on it already. One of the things that was already on it that's a must-do with the 450Ls, the CRFs, is the ECU. This has got the Vortex ECU in it, so it takes care of that flame-out issue, and it also helps bring back a lot of the power that Honda took out of this to make it street legal. That was a biggie. That's something I was going to do to a 450L right off the bat anyway. This one also has a aftermarket exhaust, full exhaust. It's an FMF with a power bomb on it, and it does have a spark arrestor because I don't want to be out here starting fires, right? It's got a Recluse clutch cover plate. I do have the full Recluse clutch that I could put in it. I don't know that I'm going to do that. It still has the stock clutch in there, but I've got a brand new Recluse clutch that I could throw in here if I wanted to. I've ridden one once. Not enough to form an opinion, so I'll just leave it at that. Another thing that you got to do to these things is you got to replace the gas tank if you want to go any type of mileage at all. It comes with, I think, like a 1.9, 2 gallon, something like that. This one already has the 3 gallon aftermarket by IMS on it, so it increases the range significantly. For doing BDRs, I'm still going to be carrying a gas bag with me. And I already have a 2 gallon, so that will serve me just fine. One thing that this doesn't have, which I'm thankful for because I get to decide for myself, it doesn't have any bags or racks. It does have this top rack by Scaggs, which bolts directly into the subframe. I could stand on this thing and it's not going to break nothing. It's pretty cool. But there's no racks. There's no pannier racks or anything on this. So I need to decide what type of bags are going to go on here. I don't want to put a pannier rack system on here. I'm really thinking saddlebags or something. I don't know. Whoa, light. Sunlight in my eyes. I really need to look at pack size and make a final decision as to what I'm going to be packing with me when I'm using this bike for what I intend it for and how minimalist I want to camp. Tent, air mattress, sleeping bag at a minimum, and recovery tools. Maybe I'll just do the freeze-dried meal thing. Sorry, Amanda. Thanks for the cookbook, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. Give me some suggestions. What do you guys think? It's got the Acerbis, however you want to pronounce it, hand guards on it. It's got the carbon fiber fork guards on there by A to Z Composites. I will be swapping those out for ones that have my logo on them. I'll probably leave the Veterans Back 40 one on there, but the other one, gotta go. Pressure relief bleeder valves were installed on top of the forks because over time, it doesn't happen too often unless you're racing motocross or something, taking a lot of hard hits. But one thing that can happen over time is air pressure will build up in your forks and they'll start feeling really stiff. So you just hit that button and you release the pressure on it and it really softens it back up. I am going to be taking this bike into Evo and have them go over it. It does have a leaky fork seal. Have them go through it, probably put a stiffer spring in the rear at least, maybe coils in the front as well, so it can haul around my big butt along with some gear. This bike was also fitted with titanium engine mounts on just to save some weight. It also saving some weight, putting that exhaust on there probably saved, man, 7 pounds at least, so this thing's light. Compared to my Twin, this thing's like I'm riding a mountain bike. It feels, I know it's not, I know it's a little bit heavier, but it feels as light as my dirt bike, my 450X. which is exactly what I wanted, is something light, because this is a platform that I'm used to for my entire life. I started on the dirt when I was a kid. These bikes, man, I can just throw them around, and if I have a tip over, or if I go down or whatever, they're easy to pick up, even with gear on them. I mean, they're still heavy, but they're a hell of a lot easier than my Africa Twin, that's for sure. It's got a Tech Voyager Pro that has a coolant temp and a tachometer and a powered dock up on the Adventure Spec tower that is on this thing. I am not a huge fan of, not necessarily the tower itself. The tower's okay. That white piece of plastic that's on the front, nope, that's going. I already have another system in a couple different options for systems that's going to replace that. It's not for any particular reason other than it just looks stupid. I hate it. I've always, ever since I saw that go on this bike, because I know both previous owners, I've hated it. You just can't get past it. It's just stupid looking. Currently, this bike is running Tusk D-Sport tires. This is the first time I've used them. This is the first bike that I've had that has had them on, I will say that. I've ridden this bike a couple of times now. This is the first time on gravel. I am in the woods. I am out here. This is my first lengthy sojourn, is that the right word? Excursion off the pavement since my accident last year. Either these tires are worn out, which is entirely possible. They are aired up, they're aired up properly. I'm not a fan. They wander quite a lot. I mean, any tire is going to wander on the gravel, but these are squirrely. I am not a fan of these tires so far. I might be dead wrong. I would have to get a brand new fresh set of these tires and put them on and play around with them for a little bit. Maybe go up to Tillamook Forest or up around Browns Camp or something and see. I would go to La D Flats outside Estacada like I was trying to do today, but they have the road closed for they're being overly proactive in their fire management. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so I'll go out to Tillamook and play around and see if I can form an actual opinion. I really want to like these tires because they're so cheap. The mileage isn't great on them from what I understand, but it doesn't matter because they're so cheap. You can buy a truckload of them and just keep swapping them out. If I end up finding out that I actually do not like the Tusk D-Sports, I will likely be swapping over to Motaz Rousey's, I think, for this bike. This one also has a tail tidy that gets rid of a lot of the plastic on the rear end. It also has the hinged flip up and magnetic license plate holder, so in case you hit, like, in case you're just way down in a rut and you hit something, you're not going to rip your plate off, right? One of the largest upgrades you could possibly do to these bikes for comfort, otherwise it's like riding a frickin' 4x4 piece of wood down the freeway, is the saddle. And this one already has a Seat Concept saddle on it. So far I'm having an absolute blast on this bike. It is very, very close to my 450X, and I've said before that I love that bike. It's my favorite dirt bike of all time. This one feels just like that, except I have an extra gear and I have a license plate, so freedom. Just feels light, it feels flickable. I can move around in the cockpit. When I'm just standing there, I'm kind of on my tippy toes just a bit, but I can flat foot if I do the cheek to cheek slide type thing, no problem. I have more than enough room because this saddle is so skinny up here. I have more than enough room to be able to move around the bike and manipulate it properly, getting around corners and things. Just a minute ago, I saw like kind of a bermed section on the gravel road come around the corner, so I got into it and frickin' all but laid it over and just whoop, railed right around it. It's fun, dude. It's fun. I really, really miss being off the pavement quite a lot. And I know others have done reviews on this bike, a bunch. Once I have it for a little while, I'm going to give you my review on this bike, specifically for what I'm intending it for. You guys have been asking me for months, when am I going to make more content? Where are you at? How's healing going? Healing's good. Here I am, and I am back. This has been an Explore Adventure Moto production. Stay hairy. I'm out up above, what's that road that you take off of 224 out of Estacada, 213, whatever it is. 3 Links. It's the road that goes up to 3 Links is where I'm at. So, up by the Frog Lake Reservoir, I think it's called. That's what this big pipe is. That's part of that whole Oak Grove hydroelectric project, I think is what it's called. Selfie stick doubling as, or tripod doubling as selfie stick, not working good. I'm just sitting here blabbing at the camera. I ain't doing shit right now.